Joining us now is Ed Brayton. Ed Brayton is the state editor for the Michigan Messenger. Mr. Brayton, thanks very much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Good to be back with you, Rachel.
As you just heard, we've just had word that the last of the 9 suspects in this case has been apprehended. Had you ever heard of this Hutaree militia group before these arrests were announced over the weekend?
I had not. You know, that we have a lot of militia groups in the state of Michigan. Of course, the Michigan militia became famous during the Oklahoma City bombing and the aftermath of that in the early 90s. But we've got about 11. The Southern Poverty Law Center says we have 11 militia groups in the state, and the Hutaree is not one that I had ever heard of. And in fact, I find it hard to say it without giggling. It sounds to me like the Hakawi tribe from F Troop, and I sort of keep waiting to see Larry Storch's mugshot in one of these pictures.
It is a strange combination of absurd and scary. You look at the details, for example, that they've posted on their website about the different ranks that they give one another and all these made-up words that sound like they're straight out of a Calvin and Hobbes strip. And then you realize, oh, they're actually plotting to kill police officers, and they have advanced weaponry, and they're doing military training, and they've been charged with incredibly serious crimes. It's sort of hard to know, I guess, how to contextualize them on the seriousness scale.
Yeah, I think we have in our minds, we sort of think of these people as just, you know, going out on the weekends and playing dress up and playing army, but clearly some of them are very serious about this, and we need to keep an eye on them. There's a reason why the FBI is infiltrating these groups, because they really can be very dangerous.
I know, Ed, that you've spent a lot of time since these arrests have been announced digging into all the tracks of this group online. Of all of the different militia groups that are out there, are you noticing anything that is unique or different about this one? Obviously, the first thing that jumps out is the theology being so front and center with them.
Yeah, you know, when you look at these militia groups, they all have one thing in common, and that is that all across the nation, they all believe that there is an inevitable war coming, and a lot of them refer to this as a second civil war. A war with the government, and they all believe that we are inexorably leading toward that day day is imminent, that we're going to have that war. Now, there's a certain faction of these groups that also believes that that war is going to be a race war, and that's sort of the KKK Aryan Nation faction. Now, this group does not appear to be one of those. This group, in fact, sort of chased off one of those people from their message board. 2 of the men who've been arrested actually sort of chased him off, someone who came to their message board spewing anti-Semitic and racist rhetoric. They don't appear to be part of that group. But what is unique about them is the religious element to this, that they believe that this inevitable war is a war against the Antichrist, a war against Satan, and that it will be the cataclysmic event that will sort of hasten the return of Christ, after which, as you mentioned in your introduction, they will establish this colonial Christian republic. That's what makes this group sort of stand out from the rest of them. They're sort of the wingnuts, if you will.
I understand that members of this militia sought the help of some other Michigan militia members during this raid. And as you say, I mean, Michigan has had a lot of militia activity. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols famously attended at least one Michigan militia event before the Oklahoma City bombing. There was a Michigan militia member who was arrested on machine gun charges. There was a shootout in which a Michigan State police officer lost his life not that long ago. What's been the reaction from the other militia groups in the state to these arrests and to that call from them for help?
Well, the local militia groups apparently do not like this group at all. Neither do the national ones, by the way. The local militia groups sort of don't want this group to play in any of their reindeer games. At least one of the members of the Hutaree was apparently kicked out of another militia group right in that area, the Southeastern Michigan Volunteer Militia, which is right in that same area, Adrian, Michigan, where they're from. And apparently, according to the spokesman for that group, a couple of the Hutaree members went to one of their people, one of their leaders in that group, and asked them to hide them. And they said no. They turned them down and sent them away. And in fact, there's also been some indication that 1 or 2 of these groups may have been helping the FBI track them down. Now, I don't know exactly what they've done, but there is at least some indication that they have been helping the FBI.
Ed Brayton is state editor for the Michigan Messenger. Thanks for helping us flesh out some of the reporting on this incredibly strange, weird story tonight. Ed, really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Rachel.